Right then, here we are. Take a good look. I'll be back in a sec. So, obviously mitten on. Those of you who may have been watching the videos. Oops, gone the wrong way. Yeah, so, things are coming along quite well. I may actually be very nearly done here. At least for the time being. I've got some horrible little awkward things I need to sort of sort out. But, they may just get on my nerves enough that I have to go elsewhere. There's obviously a river here. I'm not sure if I've named this. This may actually be the River Col, I think. I don't think I haven't marked it on the map, I know that much. This city is actually not marked on the map. I've been preparing for that. I really ought to do that. I really ought to update the map. The map in the link below is not up to date. It does not show a couple of builds now. It would be nice to have it up to date since I keep drawing people's attention to the bloody thing. But, yeah, I've cleared out rivers before, made them passable like this, just to give the Empire a better feel. You can, you know, ride around. It's just exploring options, really. I'll stop there. Okay, so I think I've followed this river quite some distance. I'm not sure where it ends up anymore. I might follow that in a sec. So yeah, the one of the next pieces I really wanted to work on, I don't think any of this had been begun in the last stream, is this obviously this section here. And I've talked a couple of times in older streams that I wanted to put up farmland, mostly wheat because it gives a much better effect, either close up or at distance. You know, as you come up to it, not quite so much of an impact when it's carrots or potatoes, which don't really stick up that much. Yeah, so you know, this isn't too bad. This kind of looks like a single whole field. These are 9x9 blocks with just a single square of water in the middle. That's enough to support the entire 9x9 block. Although I have noticed that, well, there's some difficulty. It's struggling in places. Like this thing over here. This has been here since yesterday, and so I spent a little bit of time here. Obviously, plenty of it is grown, but it's struggling with this one corner. Although this corner seems to come up quite nicely. But anyway, you know, it's a good way to avoid sticking water all over the place. I started to do that here to give this terraced effect. I would like to fill in more of this area, both of these terraces, maybe even down onto here, all filled with wheat. A couple of farmhouses to, you know, homes for the people who actually collect this stuff. We've got to start putting in stuff in over here. Very monotonous, even more monotonous than putting up terraced housing. The standout feature in this area, obviously the windmill over there, but we've also got this Romanesque style villa. I went a little wrong closing it in. I'm not that unhappy with it, but seriously, it's like, I don't know, I feel like there should have been a bit out the front that was boxed in, but I just started to feel like I was taking up so much of this space. I was like, I don't know, I don't want to fill in this much space with you know, with building. Even this, as it is, this is bigger than I really was expecting to put anything here. It was very last minute that I just switched to this idea of a major villa. Small rooms, probably the main rooms for the family who lives here. Main hall. So, right, exit out. I think the main hall could probably do with at least a doorway that doesn't actually go directly to the outside, maybe. A couple of smaller guest houses. This is actually the kitchen, should have a door on it. Pantry, just a small connecting corridor. Study, probably a library building. And obviously we're back out into the entrance. So I've never actually done anything quite like this. It's obviously not full-on Roman. I didn't go looking for pictures and go, well, what does Roman villa look like? It would have been silly to do that anyway, because I'd have ended up with a Roman villa stuck in the middle of ancient Gothic-style buildings. Pseudo-Gothic-style buildings. Not really what you want. So, excuse me. So yeah, the windmill, pretty bog standard. Very simple vane. Is that what they call them? I don't know. There's a word for it. I'm gonna kick myself if I think of it later. So yeah, they're pretty standard. I sometimes do them on a diagonal. Not this time, obviously. Built the bottom based on the same construct as the tower. In fact, the villa started with the same structure. This courtyard is based on the same design as the small towers. 5 little, you know. Let's get out of here. Oops. Yeah. See. Yeah. No. 5 little corner. 5 corner. I came up with that standard design building the Calder Hall Military Academy. I think it was either there or down at Raven Guard, just to the south of the academy. It was a very simple design. It's a nice size. It was easy to put up and replicate, therefore. And I kind of have now taken it with me, and I'm okay with that because I feel like in the Warhammer 40,000 game, 40,000. What am I doing? Freaking noob. 40k. I'm calling it 40,000 for make myself look stupid. 40k, right? So yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, 40k. There's a lot of the humans have a lot of talk about standard templates, from which alternate designs are always derived, and I kind of maybe have applied this to the buildings. It's like this is the standard core design from which all buildings are then derived. So it forms a sort of a modular function then, moving forward to new projects, allowing them to set them up easily, adapt to the design as necessary. It may not be a particularly sensible thing, I don't know. So yeah, I don't usually go too far with decorating the insides of the mills. I've installed the grinding mechanism for the flour coming all the way down. Couldn't honestly tell you what the inside of a mill's supposed to look like. I've watched Jonathan Creek, but that's a conversion into a home, so it has very little reflection on the actual mill. So I don't really know how they're supposed to all connect together, but there you go. So, yeah, this is all gone up. I've got to do more work putting up the farmland, obviously. As I was saying, maybe something that's best to do in bits and pieces as I come backwards and forwards. So I put up these 2 drum towers, and the wall seems a little over the top, unnecessary even. Not too happy about its height. I added on this extra little bit to round it up to 2 floors in height. It looks okay from here, but it's just questioning the logic of it. What the hell for? Maybe once upon a time. Well, actually no, because what I'm working on is the idea that these 2 buildings are the oldest buildings here. So why do you want a wall behind them? Because this wall is protecting from attack across the river. This area of land is what is being protected by the wall. So there's a little bit of logic, or failing in logic going on here on my part. It's not surprising. I'm not the most logical person. So, yeah, there's still this line of wall possibly to go in. I'm not super keen on doing it. I don't feel it's really that necessary. I won't extend this part of the road either until they've actually put up an Acropolis over in the swamp. But anyway, so I think it just leaves this building now. Again, another sort of home, stronghold, fortress type building. I got a little, not carried away, but I got a little overly interested in the skeletal, you know, freestanding pillar stuff, like a Greek temple style structure, and couldn't quite bring myself to fill it all in to actually form outer shells of buildings. So that's kind of gotten in the way a little bit. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about when I mentioned that I'm kind of on the verge of leaving this behind, because I can't quite bring it together how I want it. Apart from anything else, I didn't plan it, so it's kind of coming at the last. I didn't like putting this staircase in either. I realised there was no way into this building, so I started to install the front steps, and then I thought, well, you know, maybe there's something around here out of the way. But now that it's up, it just kind of sticks out too much. I'm kind of like, this is just ugly. Got a couple of floor plans for buildings here, representing some of the older parts of the city before anything else was built over here. I don't really know what they're for, what they're supposed to be. But I think that really brings me up to date on what I've been doing, what I plan on doing. So I'm going to... I'll be cutting off here for YouTube again. Goddamn rain. So, yep, I'll be cutting off for YouTube, trimming. Yeah. Catch you later.